When you run a business making 6 or 7 figures, the sheer weight of the decisions that you have to make every single day can be absolutely paralyzing. One wrong move can cost you tens of thousands of dollars and damage a major client like responsibility, or cause like a key team member to walk out and literally leave. Most founders mistake this chronic pressure for lack of business strategy, but they buy one more course or sign up with one more coach or subscribe to one more channel, and it's over and over the same things. But the real problem isn't your strategy. It's that your brain is trapped in a constant state of primitive fight or flight panic. Look, I'm Brooke Plack. I'm a 7-figure multi-entrepreneur, and I've built real businesses that I'm operating today from the trenches and have raw, hard-earned experience. And the only reason I run my companies working a 25-hour work week is because I stopped letting reactive adrenaline run my nervous system. And I implemented an internal framework called the Neural Regulation Cadence. Running on cortisol and Monster Energy drinks alone will not do the trick. Although I do like some Monsters, and this is not a sponsored video, so maybe it should be, right? Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how I rewired my brain to make high-stakes decisions without having panic. Okay, stay till the very end, because I truly am sharing a 90-second cognitive circuit breaker activity, thought process, tool, I guess you could say, that prevents a sudden business fire from hijacking your entire nervous system, your entire weekend. So let's look at the psychology that is needed in order for you to scale the way that you want to. So if you are an established business owner from, making like 200 to like 5 million a year in your business, and you feel like your head is spinning from nonstop decision making, okay, fatigue, constant daily like micro crises over and over and over again, when you operate in a permanent state of crisis mode, your prefrontal cortex, this is like not something you choose, right? This is something that's like actually happening in your brain. The part of your brain that is responsible for long-term strategy and vision, it shuts down. So you begin to hyper focus on only those mini crises that are going on right now, and you stop leading and start merely being stuck in reactive mode. And so here's how we're going to fix this. All right. The first thing is fact auditing versus emotional projection. So when an operational fire happens, what is your go-to? What is the first thing that happens? Well, your brain instantly skips to worst case scenario. We're going to lose all our profits and the team's going to quit and I'm not going to be able to feed my family and the company will fail. Right? That is a natural pattern of thinking from business owners and founders. But the fix is you must weaponize your financial and your operational visibility. Okay, you've got to have a normal cadence of seeing it so that you can speak truth into those thoughts. I'm not saying that by watching this YouTube video or any YouTube video or reading any book or course is going to change that thought coming into your brain. It may still come there, but once you have truth to counteract it, you have truth that can actually speak back into that. That's not true. That's not going to happen, because you know what? I have my cash flow statements that I look at every Monday and I can see where things are going from here, right? So you force yourself to write down these objectives, these goals, and it unvarnishes the data of the situation, right? So your frameworks neutralize that primitive emotional panic like you're running from a tiger. And if it begins to help you understand that if it's not a data-backed threat, if it's not a threat that has actual information behind it, it doesn't get that headspace and that panic. And so then you are able to separate the facts from your emotions and be able to make those decisions without panicking. And if this sounds like something that you face, or you want some other real person that's in the United States that's actually running businesses that can see and feel you on the other side of the screen, subscribe to our channel, because we drop videos a couple times a week, and we want to be able to help entrepreneurs that have been in this situation, that have built something from the ground up, that don't want to be alone and face this alone anymore. So it can be a little sweet spot in your week. The second thing to help you make these high stakes decisions without panicking is to decouple or break apart the outcome from your personal worth. If you view every business error as a personal reflection of your intelligence, your ability, your leadership capacity, you will overanalyze every single choice and not tune into your own intuition and your own knowing. A bad decision is simply a flawed piece of data to be corrected in the system. It's not an identity crisis. But perfectionism can create this analysis paralysis where we continue to want to overlook and overdo and over and over and over everything before we just calm down, think, listen to our intuition, and make the best decision possible. But to be able to do that, we have to separate our personal identity from the outcome of what's going to happen, because it doesn't change who you are, how you show up, who you love, what your hobbies are, your family, your relationships. None of that changes based on a business decision that you later decide was not the right one. Okay. The next thing is establishing the escalation guardrails, right? So the reason that you panic during these really high stakes decisions is because your team or your family or your friends treat you like an emergency helpline, dumping every problem in your lap because they know you're going to solve it and you're going to figure it out. But if you have SOPs written, if you have a process in place for what happens and it gives clear boundaries, and you mandate that team members cannot bring stuff to you just to throw on your plate unless they have already tried what you've given them, it immediately filters out 80% of the problems. So I always tell my team, we're not selling kidneys. So if you're selling kidneys, I can't help you. But we're not selling kidneys. Make a decision. And if we mess up, we'll apologize and try to fix it, right? It's not always rocket science, but sometimes people need to know that you have confidence in them and their ability to make decision. And if you don't do that, the result is you are going to end up with decision fatigue and not be able to make good decisions when it's time. And it forces your workforce to start managing the outcomes autonomously and actually gives them more confidence and they're better. Okay, here is what I promised you at the beginning of the episode. Is that I was going to give you this 90-second circuit breaker and drop the savior complex and really reset everything here. Okay. So here's the deal. Neurochemistry dictates that an emotional adrenaline spike only lasts 90 seconds to the human body unless you choose to mentally feed it. But you have to drop your addiction to playing the operational savior, okay? So this 90-second circuit breaker, okay, if you continue to feed it during panic, it will last. It will go on and on and on. But in order to not do that, you have to drop your savior complex, and that is hard. It is so hard not to want to run in and save the people that you love. But when a massive problem drops, okay, execute this neural regulation cadence, right? Step away from your screen, sit in silence for exactly 90 seconds, and let the biological chemical wave pass completely through your body before typing a single email response or a text message or returning the phone call. Because true strategic genius belongs to the leader who commands their own nervous system before attempting to command their team and their businesses and their empire. Because true authority is, not from being able to be the fastest to react to everything, but to be able to react in a way and to make decisions in a way that are true and authentic to who you are and how you want to show up in the world.